20th century, a history reflected in fates. The first cosmonaut, Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin, March 9, 1934. Klushino Village, Jatsk District, Western Oblast, now Smolensk Oblast, March 27, 1968, near the town of Kurzhach, Vladimir Oblast, Russia. Soviet pilot cosmonaut, the first person to travel into outer space. He graduated from the Zhukovsky Air Force Academy in 1968. On April 12, 1961, he flew aboard the spacecraft Vostok, orbiting the Earth once in 108 minutes. He paved the way for humanity's journey into space. On April 12, 1962, the well-known wartime voice of the USSR Central Radio announcer, Levitan, echoed, "Attention! Attention! Attention! All radio stations of the Soviet Union are broadcasting. We will now announce important government news." Everyone who heard this announcement across the USSR was stunned. This was the voice that once brought war news. But this time, it was great news not just for the Soviet people, but for all humanity. Gagarin had gone to space. Yuri Gagarin was born in the village of Klushino, in the Gzhatsk district of Western Oblast, now Gagarin district of Smolensk Oblast. His father, Alexey Ivanovich Gagarin, 1902–1973, was a carpenter, and his mother, Anna Timofeevna Matveeva, 1903–1984, worked at a dairy farm. Yuri spent his childhood near the town of Gzhatsk, now Gagarin. He began school on September 1, 1941. But by October 12, the village was occupied by German forces, and his studies were halted. The Germans held Klushino for about 1.5 years. A German once tried to hang Yuri's younger brother Boris with a scarf, but his mother saved him in time. On April 9, 1943, the Red Army liberated the village and school resumed. In May 1945, the Gagarin family moved to Gzhatsk. Yuri graduated from secondary school in 1949 and enrolled in a vocational school in Lyubertsy. At the same time, he studied at a working youth school. In June 1951, he completed both. In August 1951, he entered the Saratov Industrial Technical School. On October 25, 1954, he joined the Saratov Aero Club. In 1955, he successfully graduated and made his first solo flight in a Yak-18 aircraft. During training, Gagarin made 196 flights, totaling 42 hours and 23 minutes. In the fall of 1955, Gagarin was drafted into the military and sent to Chkalov to attend the first military aviation school for pilots, named after K.E. Voroshilov. In 1957, he graduated with honors. For 2 years, he served in the Northern Fleet's 122nd Fighter Aviation Division. By October 1959, he had flown a total of 265 hours. In 1957, he married Valentina Ivanovna Goryacheva. On December 9, 1959, Gagarin submitted an application to be considered for cosmonaut training. A week later, he was summoned to Moscow for a full medical examination. At the beginning of 1960, a medical commission deemed him fit for spaceflight. On March 3, 1960, by order of Air Force Commander-in-Chief K.A. Vershinin, he was admitted to the cosmonaut candidate group, and rigorous training began. There were 20 candidates for the first flight into space, chosen based on age, under 30, weight, no more than 72 kilograms, and height, under 170 centimeters. Gagarin was 165 centimeters tall. Some sources say 157 centimeters. Only someone with these physical parameters could fit inside the small spacecraft. Moreover, candidates had to be Communist Party members. Gagarin joined in the summer of 1960. From the 20 candidates, 6 were selected. Chief designer Korolev was in a rush, as intelligence reported that the Americans were planning to launch a man into space in April 1961. The Soviet flight was scheduled between April 11th and 17th. The final selection was made by the State Commission. Yuri Gagarin would fly, with German Titov as backup. 3 press releases were prepared by TASS, one for a successful mission, one in case of a sea landing requesting international aid, and one for a tragic outcome. Thankfully, only the first was used. The Vostok 1 spacecraft launched on April 12, 1961, at 9:07 a.m. Moscow time from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. In 108 minutes, it circled the Earth once and landed just 1 second earlier than planned. Due to a malfunction in the braking system, the landing site shifted from Stalingrad to the Saratov region, near the village of Smelovka. The first people to see Gagarin after landing were Anna Akimovna Taktarova and her 6-year-old granddaughter Rita. Soon, military personnel arrived and escorted Gagarin to a local base, from where he reported to the commander. Mission accomplished. Landed in designated area. Feeling good. No injuries. Gagarin. A Mi-4 helicopter was dispatched from Engels Airport to locate him. He was spotted hitching a ride on a truck. They picked him up and radioed back. Cosmonaut on board, heading to airfield. Later that day, high-ranking officials and journalists arrived. Gagarin gave interviews and was photographed. He then reported to Brezhnev. Initially, no grand welcome was planned. However, at the last minute, Nikita Khrushchev insisted on an elaborate reception. Gagarin was promoted from lieutenant to major on the spot. When Gagarin's plane landed at Vnukovo Airport, he was welcomed with a grand celebration. A red carpet led to the government tribune, where Khrushchev stood. Gagarin reported, "I'm proud to report that the mission assigned by the Communist Party and Soviet government has been completed." He rode through the city in an open car, waving to crowds. On Red Square, he received the Hero of the Soviet Union Medal and the new title Pilot Cosmonaut of the USSR. Gagarin's fame spread globally. He visited over 30 countries. The 108-minute flight completely transformed his life, making him one of the most famous people on Earth. In 1964, Gagarin became deputy head of the Cosmonaut Training Center. He was also active in political and social spheres and continued studying at the Zhukovsky Air Force Academy. In March 1968, during training flights in a MiG-15 UTI with flight instructor Vladimir Seryogin, they took off from the Chkalovsky airfield near Moscow. Shortly after takeoff, Gagarin radioed that the mission was complete and requested permission to return. Contact was lost soon after. After over 3 hours of search, the wreckage was found. A state commission investigated, but the exact cause of the crash remains unclear. A national day of mourning was declared, the first time this was done in the USSR for someone who wasn't a head of state. The ashes of Yuri Gagarin and Vladimir Seryogin were interred at the Kremlin Wall.
告诉孩子们，上的